Hello. So this is more so just a loose brain dump about I'd say just being in the classroom for the past year and just more starting teaching altogether and what that entails. I think the biggest transition has been just this always being on type of energy where I'd say putting on your best self in terms of things and just being like always on and having that sort of teacher persona has been something that has been a bit hard to navigate. I think like a parallel you could draw with that would be like how say like comedians draw onto like this sort of persona that they build out for themselves versus who they are as a regular person. But for me as a teacher or as a person overall, it's just like taking some time to get used to. It's been interesting for sure, to say the least. I'm trying to see besides that. I think besides that, it's also been working with first graders versus throughout the past year, in addition to prior to that, it's been more like middle school, high school side of things. But I'd say this has been a deep dive into more just needing to be more explicit in terms of things. Not that you don't with like middle high schoolers, but you have to be very explicit in terms of write your name in addition to put your pencil or your finger at like say each individual line and explicitly select a answer if it's like multiple choice or different things. Pretty much just like instructing them more explicitly in terms of you need to do this, then you need to do this, then you need to do this in terms of I I wouldn't say hand holding is the right word, but just like being able to guide them and just like even though that's sort of what hand holding is, but minus like the connotations that come with that at times. I'd say it's just been a lot to getting used to in terms of that versus I'd say what was prior is more of I guess like that corporate environment and having used like that like I guess like the corporate brain in terms of just like corporate speak and all that jargon that comes with it. I still have not fully processed for myself like this current one versus that prior one, but it's just seeing how it has been throughout the past year or so. I think besides that, it's just making time for myself when I'm able to just like rest altogether beyond that. Is I think it's difficult for people at times to just not I guess just like not work outside of work, I guess at times, like say taking work home or different things. But I'd say as a teacher you do get like prep time in addition to other things as my or how do I put this? I'd say it's that you have designated prep time in addition to other things, but I'd say it parallels the corporate world where it's like you might get stacked with like meetings on meetings on meetings, and you have to make do with putting aside time for yourself in terms of like prepping and doing stuff where you're able to just hunker down and just like get a bunch of stuff done. In this case, it's just like lesson planning in addition to prepping for like future ones altogether, which is I guess like a lot to think about. Yeah, I think beyond that, I think I'm trying to really think besides that. I think beyond that whole thing, it's just been finding time to decompress from that because I think day to day it's very different in terms of behavioral side of things, and I think a lot of it is dependent on the students that you're working with at times and seeing if there's any say like outbursts or any say I'd say problems like lightly in terms of like if you need to redirect students or you need to provide extra support to some, but just making sure that you don't take it home with you and stress about that when all is said and done after your long day. As you can see, I sound very tired and more out of it after the past month or so, but I think it's more just so adjusting to more the teaching capacity and just like not like fully teaching, as this is still the start of things in terms of like more of like a student teaching type environment. But I think it's just getting used to that, and from what was previous to me in terms of familiarity. But yeah, I'd say like the whole previous year has been in the school system and just being accustomed to that and just growingly being comfortable with that and seeing if it's a better fit for me. As I say, if there was one takeaway for this like ramble or thing altogether, it's sometimes the grass is greener, and it's like it's not necessarily always the grass is greener, but just finding a good fit in terms of what you're looking for, in terms of I guess say it's like what you want to do on a day to day. But if you extend it beyond that, it's that just seeing if what the job you're getting provides you just enough like support in terms of living a life beyond that, and just gives you fulfillment and all other things and different things all outside of that. I think that's like a lot for someone to sit with in terms of like what they sort of want to do with third of their waking day versus like the life beyond that and like different other things. As granted, I'm still figuring things out for myself, as it's like in a school there's beyond teachers, there's like nurses, different specialists, admin, in addition to paras, and I'd say why I just listed has not been an exhaustive list of different professionals in the space, but in a classroom or in a school, there's a million different type roles as there are in like a big company in particular. I think drawing it back to like the grass isn't always greener. It's sometimes it's just finding a better fit for you in terms of what you want to do, and I think it's never really too early or too late to change altogether, because I'm quite frankly I just graduated like college and corporate wasn't a fit for me, so I just started something new and pretty much just like saved a bunch for it and just like hoping this works out. But I'd say for me it's just seeing day for day for me and just considering different things and just seeing how the year goes altogether. As I think it's easy to say looking back what you should have done differently as a person, but just knowing that the person I am today is making the best decisions that I am able to with the resources that I have and the choices that are offered to me at this moment in terms of what I'm able to do. And I wouldn't portray that in a positive or a negative light, but just sort of like an as it is type one at the moment in terms of things. I don't know, I don't really think there's anything that really spurred me to make this one. I think I'm still seeing if I want to just like make the once a week just like random topic and different thing, or just sort of live life, because I think I've just been living life and just seeing how it goes, but just needing an outlet to like just talk about random stuff as I would otherwise. I don't know. I think for the video, it's like if you gathered anything, it should have been just like different environments allow for different experience in terms of the workforce, and it's just finding one that aligns with what you're looking for. And I think it's that all of them come with their challenges and their different like I guess like their challenges are different things that people don't like altogether, and it's just making sure that the pros offset the cons in terms of what you're looking for, regardless of if it's say like corporate, a school, nonprofit, healthcare. The non-exhaustive list goes on, but you know what I'm getting at in terms of things. I don't know, it's just taking it day by day and just seeing how the year unfolds day by day, month by month. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Right. I'll say have a good one. And as always, don't forget to be awesome.